My name is Kenny Indiano, and this is my economic analysis of electronic vehicle market. All right, so we have some supply and demand here. Demand curve shows relationship between price, quantity, and demanded. Downward sloping as price decreases, demand increases. So on the demand side for the EV market, in 2023, there's nearly 14 million EVs were sold globally, a 35% increase from 2022. EVs accounted for 18% of all new car sales worldwide, up from just 2% 5 years earlier. When it comes to regional trade within the EV market, China dominates the market with 60% of global EV sales in 2023. Over one third of new car registrations in China were electric. When it comes to Europe, it's contributed to 24% of the global EV sales, with 1 in 5 new cars being electric. And lastly, when it comes to the United States, they account for 10% of the global EV sales, with 1 in 10 new cars being electric. Now let's get into the Inflation Reduction Act here. So the Inflation Reduction Act here passed in the United States to promote clean energy adoption and offers tax credits for electric vehicle purchases. It reduces the effective cost of EVs for consumers. It also increased consumer interest and demand for EVs, and then encouraged manufacturers to expand EV production. Over time, it started with really Tesla boosting the EV market. And from there, the market just expanded from manufacturers like Honda, Ford, and many others coming out with different EVs, which has given more of a demand or supply for the market to even out that demand supply equilibrium. Now, heading to in the shifting of the demand curve, like we talked about before, there has been a shift with the higher demand. Their supply also needs to be more. Demand curve has shifted rightwards due to increased affordability. Consumers are more likely to purchase EV cars at all prices. Because of more manufacturers going into this field, there's now available to sell these cars at a more affordable price. We have the graphical representation here. So with this representation, what this shows, it illustrates the original relationship between the price of the EVs and the quantity demanded. As the price decreases, more consumers are willing and able to purchase EVs, showing a typical downward slope. The supply curve, the curve depicts the original relationship between the price of EVs and the quantity supplied. As the price increases, manufacturers are more willing to produce EVs, resulting in the upward slope that you see here at the start. The original equilibrium, the point where the original demand curve intersects the supply curve, it also represents the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, which market clearing level where supply equals demand. So guys, as the supply went up, it needed to meet the demand, and with the different manufacturers coming into play and kind of innovating the EV market, they've been able to do so. Conclusion here, so tax credits effectively stimulate EV demand. Manufacturers respond with increased capacity. So with the increasing demand, the manufacturers need to respond with an increasing supply. Policy tools like subsidies can reshape market dynamics. It encourages innovation and adoption of clean energy technologies. And lastly, potential for long-term growth in the EV market. Further research on how supply adapts to sustained demand increases. Have a great day. Thank you.